we have a couple things moving around in the NBA. Bradley Beal seems like he could be on the move. The Wizards and Beal are trying to figure out what to do. Michael Winger just getting in, a former Clippers general manager. He's got a decision to make of whether or not he's just going to blow things up and start over again and not re-sign Kyle Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis and trade Bradley Beal. I mean, you've been hearing this now for 3 years, probably, Dave. Oh, we'd like to have Bradley Beal. Every team wants to have Bradley Beal because he's just a plug and play. He can fit in with anyone. He does not need the ball. He's not a ball dominant guy, and he can still shine on both ends. But he has a no trade clause, which means not only can he dictate which team he wants to go to, he can dictate what is going to be in that trade, because he can say, nope, that's too much for the team that I'm going to is giving up too much. What do you think about Bradley Beal? Do the Lakers? I don't know. I mean, the Clippers. I just don't. I don't see how the Clippers could get him. I mean, unless like Paul George is going that trade or something like that. I think you kind of mentioned earlier about the Lakers' dilemma. If they go after third star, they're giving up all of their depth, basically. What do you think about the Lakers and Bradley Beal?
No, first of all, you start with Bradley Beal, and he's a tremendous player. But you have to, as we were having the Lakers conversation before, recognize that there's been some injury concerns to their stars, and that fits Bradley Beal as well. He hasn't been able to stay on the court a whole lot over the last 3 or 4 seasons. And so to go after, someone like that and potentially strip your roster of pretty much everything else that you have is super risky. Beyond that, the number he's making, roughly $50 million a year, combined with Bradley Beal is a name, and Bradley Beal is an all-star or multi-time all-star, and Bradley Beal skill level is undeniable. But the Lakers are going to have to straddle competition with business as they move forward, whomever that they deem to be their next major ticket player. Because as we said, LeBron's not long for this game, and Anthony Davis, we'll see. I'm not so sure that Anthony Davis will be with the Lakers beyond the LeBron years. It's possible, but we don't know. Is Bradley Beal going to be the singular star post LeBron and AD? I don't think so. Look what he's done as a singular star in Washington. Bupkis.
I mean, to be fair, like 3 years ago, he did average like 30 points a game.
How far did they get in the postseason?
Right. In the last couple of seasons, I think that's dipped now. And the other thing too is I think he's got like the 5th highest contract in the league, or maybe 6th. And I would not say, as good as Bradley Beal is, he's not a top 10 player. And
right. And then you say, like, what could the Lakers even offer to Washington that would, of course, they have the 29 and the 2030 first round picks. They could trade one of them. They could trade this year's first round pick. You could possibly work out the deal to include a sign and trade with Austin or something like that. Obviously, Washington's not interested in Rui Hachimura because he came here, but I just don't. I don't see it. I think it's a non-starter. I don't think Lakers fans, you should waste too much brain space on Bradley Beal. Now I think there's some teams out there. Philadelphia, it's intriguing. New York, intriguing. But I don't know. Do you see a spot that makes the most sense for him?
I mean, I'd like to see Bradley Beal and somebody like Dallas. I think he'd be pretty good there with Doncic, and maybe if Kyrie comes back. New York would be pretty fun to watch, although I would say I think New York does like him a lot. At least that's what it sounds like. There's another name out there that I'd really like in New York, and that'd be Zion. I don't know if New Orleans is going to trade Zion. I think I saw David Griffin meeting with Zion the other day or something like that. And there's a lot of smoke around Zion, Dave. What do you think about Zion and where he could end up?
I do think that it would almost make sense for there to be a transition for the Pelicans to move away from Zion. And just because he's basically played what 35% of the games since he become a pro. And you still have the ability to sell relatively high on him. And that doesn't mean that I don't want him to become the Zion that we've seen at his best, or maybe not even necessarily that I don't think it's going to happen. But when you have all these other pieces that you're trying to sync up on a timeline, and then you have the wild card that you're trying to fit in there, how many seasons can you sacrifice just waiting around for him to be there versus you can go make a deal, get some pieces that can help you in the moment. I proposed a fictional trade using the trade machine for ESPN.com. Maybe you call up Atlanta. Atlanta, obviously, they have stagnated a bit since their Eastern Conference Finals run a couple of years ago. You could send off John Collins, Onyeka Okongwu, your first-round pick this year, Sacramento's first-round pick next year, which, based on the Kings' record this past year, shouldn't be too high of a first-rounder. You're probably talking in the 20s. New Orleans then can play John Collins in that spot. John Collins has, been pretty reliable these last two seasons, played about 130 out of 162 games, 164 games. Okongwu is an upside type of guy. You take a chance on another switchable, lengthy guy, add to the Herb Jones, add to, the other guys you have on that roster, and, Larry Nance and, and Brandon Ingram. And then those two first rounders, while neither of them being like a coveted first rounder that, say, the Portland Trailblazers could offer this year to get them, you can package them and, maybe you get that other piece. It's a multi-piece play here. Obviously, I don't know. I think at some point, the New Orleans fan base won't be on his side anymore. And you don't want that for a guy. We've seen it, Markelle Fultz in Philadelphia. You come in with, so much expectations thrust upon you and your body betrays you. At some point for everybody involved, to change the scenery is the best route.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a guy like Zion go somewhere like obviously from DC. So, man, Zion in Washington would be awesome if they decide to start over there, something like that. I'm interested to see what Portland's going to do with the number 3 pick, but not only that, but obviously Dame. Man, if Dame is on the move too, that's another guy that teams have been waiting on for years to try and get. I mean, like Dame or Beal in Miami would be unbelievable. Like seeing how much, Miami's right there. They need a scorer, a consistent elite scorer. And if they were to get one of those guys, I think Miami's another team's been linked to Beal. That would certainly be awesome to watch them.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.